So we are going for the introduction to additive energy. Uh, there's difference between the additive energy and also the renewable energy. Additive energy is the alternative of energy other than the fossil fuel. We call as the additive energy. While the renewable energy is only the renewable one, which means that we have also non-renewable energy, which is also defined as the additive energy. Yep, kita boleh tak gerak. Okay. So in words, additive energy is an energy source that is an alternative to fossil fuel. Okay, fossil fuel. Fuel ke whatever lah. These alternatives are intended to address concerns about such fossil fuels. Okay. Fossil fuels, I think you all know lah kan. We have the crude oil, coal, gas fired. In Malaysia, I think most cases we have gas fired banyak. And we have also some substation generation. Some cogen is coming from the coal fired also can. In Tanjung Bin, I think maybe coal or gas. Okay, something like that lah. Okay, it's about fossil fuel, the gas, natural gas, the ethane gas. Okay. So 10 things about fossil fuel. Sorry, quite boring. As usual, the first chapter very straightforward. So 3 main types: oil, coal, natural gas. Take millions of years to form. It's coming from the suppression or the bunkers in the sea, deep of the sea. So that expression of the corpse of the dead animals and plants for millions of years, they form this kind of fossil fuel. Cannot be replaced once used because it's confirmed it's non-renewable. Yeah, maybe there's some we can reuse the itu palm oil. Sorry, not the crude oil. Cannot be replaced. Okay, cannot be replaced. Once used, finish. Okay, because it's turned into the smoke, it become carbon monoxide and so on. Found under the ground, whether offshore or onshore, it depends on the geography position. For example, in Malaysia case, in I think near the Kerteh, something like that, we also have the petroleum, the refinery. That one's offshore lah, under the sea kan. But in Arab countries, most cases there are lots in onshore, on the desert, padang pasir kan. So then dig down to the earth's one. And then can be difficult to get, of course, because you need the drill, mega scale of driller. Okay, that one for the person working with the yellow shirt, the yellow and the green shirt means the petroleum, the Petronas brothers, or the subcons of them. So that's the team work for them. They have drill, but that drill is not same with our drill lah in our house lah, and of course mega drill kan, to dig out to suck out all the petroleums, okay, inside the earth, and then burn to give off heat. Ni common kan, give off heat, produce smoke, produce fire again. Like in Kerteh, if you are familiar with the normal road from here to the Terengganu, maybe you're going to pass the Dungun Park Kerteh kan, and you will see beside the road, you will see there's one macam obo kan, there's one places that have fire kan, and keep firing near the on the what we call that, fume smoke fume, lah. Comes the light from the fire. Even during the night also you can see the very bright fire kan. So that is the, I think, oil and gas also. Okay, so that is also, of course, give off heat also. the 1000 degrees C of the heat and the fire as well. The one near to Ketih lah. Saya tak pasti yang lain lah. Kalau orang-orang side-side yang bawah-bawah ni mungkin tak biasa kan. Siapa yang memang side-side sana, side-side Patah Timur, mungkin frequently lah you can pass through kalau lalu jalan biasa lah kan. Jalan biasa. Nak berhenti-berhenti makan satah tepi tu kan. Mungkin lalu tu nampak lah jalan tu. Dia ada feeling sikit kan. Instead of using the LPT2 lah. LPT2. And then burning power station to generate electricity. Of course, we have the power stations to generate electricity, which means this is about the industrial scale, the governmental industrial scale of the size for the generation. It's not that small things. So you cannot just simply build up behind of your house. Cannot lah, of course. You need to have the proper power station with safety and so on. Then give off carbon dioxide, of course lah, carbon dioxide ini pun tak cerita kot. And they are the main cause of air pollution. We all know from the primary school, we already talk about the air pollution kan. It's all about the carbon monoxide and also the smoke that coming from that fume. Right? Give off heat, give off smoke. In the same time, we are giving you the carbon dioxide for you in order to generate electricity to give it to you. But this is the what we call that, the negative impact that coming from the fossil fuel lah, one of the negative impact. And then one day they could run out. Yeah, of course, even though they are predicted 20 to 30 years, we keep digging it and dig out all the things. And I heard also several countries also find a new, I think Turkey, they find a new refinery resources that can still stand for several tens of years. People keep digging out. Okay, but one day, of course, one day we'll run out. Okay. Okay. Now we're coming to the renewable energy. I think you all know. For same also with the person who are doing the IE also keep project with the solar and so on. And very boring topic and renewable energy. And it's all about renewable energy. People now talking about renewable energy like talking about the nasi lemak or the what you call very simple thing, handphone, something like that, which is very common. Renewable now very common. Several I think 10 years before, maybe very rare person know that. 20 years before, I think we don't know. We know only solar, but this time the energy are more commonly known even for the small kids also. Generally defined as energy that comes from the resources which are naturally replenished on a human time scale, such as sunlight, wind, rain, tides, wave, and geothermal heat. It comes from the natural. Yeah, fossil fuel also coming from the natural. You're digging out from the offshore or onshore and take out the oil and become rich for that, and you're selling to the citizen and netizens. Then we are buying for that, but they keep reaching. they are keeping getting rich and rich. And but for us, we still need to pay for that. And for example, just example. But for this replenish type of the energy sources, which is the renewable energy, you can even generate by yourself in your house. For example, you have the sunlight from the sun, and so you just simply buy the PV panel from, I think, sold on the like Cowboy or Shopee, and just buy it 100 watt, 200 watt. Then connect it with the battery or charge controller, something like that. Then you now have it. You are now can have your own system, which is not for the proper generation. You can generate from your room, okay, by using the energy. But for the case of wave and tides, that one you need the proper structure lah, because we are playing with the sea water. We're playing with the wave. Playing with the tsunami in the future, like that. So that turbine must be fully the specification must be fulfill the specification that can withstand from the seawater, avoid from the corrosive, not what we call that, rusted. So the material must be coated with the fully coating. The turbine must be fully coated with the material that hardly getting rusted. So there's quite a structure. But still, it's still renewable energy because in Pantai Timur, again Pantai Timur, sorry, promoting Pantai Timur. You know, you have the what we call the suburban, not suburban, what we call that, seaside. Even in the very near to Kuantan also, we have the Pantai Balok and Pantai Sepat ke, so on. So all are owned by us kan. Semua milik Allah kan. Siapa-siapa boleh guna. Maksud wave tu tidak ada kepunyaan siapa-siapa. Itu kepunyaan Allah kan. So you boleh ambil lah tanpa perlu berlawan dengan orang lain. Contoh kalau refinery tu, oil refinery tu kau tak boleh lah nak korek dekat rumah kau kan. Kau jumpa kan. Kau tahu insting kau kuat bahawa rumah kau tu ada sedikit apa nama tu, oil kan. Oil yang level the minyak kapal terbang kan. Kau cuba korek dengan kau sendiri. Hari kau pakai korek sekaki kan. Lepas tu kau declare ni milik saya. It's not simple like that lah. That kind of thing of course government will claim lah. Like that lah. But this one is the skill that you can even do by yourself if you have the capability lah. Geothermal heat, I think it's not frequent, it's not common in Malaysia. It's the place usually for the country that have 4 seasons because they're using the geothermal energy to do the to facilitate the heater, to facilitate the heater for each house. For the 4 season, I think in the Turkey already they have 10 years before. I think they have already the system that they dig from the earth, get the thermal from there, and then they're heating the house. Okay, for example, right. Rain, I think from the water like actually the hydro water like Kenyir, even though Kenyir sebelum ni banjir kan. Sekejap. Okey ke? Saya macam cakap seorang ke tak dengar saya cakap apa?
Okey sir.
Alhamdulillah.
Okey, saya dengar sir.
Boleh Mardiah dengar Mardiah? Lama tak panggil nama ni.
Dengar sir.
Dengar, alhamdulillah. Farhana, okey Farhana.
Okey sir.
Alia, okey Alia. Alia Ashifah.
Okey sir.
Okey, nasib baik. Siapa lagi? Syamim, okey Syamim.
Okey sir, okey.
Dengar je lah Dengar je biasalah.
Fokus.
Chapter 1, fokus. Masya Allah. Boleh makan, tak ada masalah. Silakan makan sambil-sambil. Okay. Macam tengok movie kan, Netflix. Okay. Alright. Renewable energy replace conventional fuels in 4 distinct areas. Electricity generation, hot water, space heating. Macam saya sebut tadi. Motor fuels and rural energy services. Okay, motor fuels, kalau dengar fuel cell kan. Fuel cell ni dia pakai ethanol atau methanol. Okay, ethanol, methanol is the main oil. The main oil ke? Macam tu. But the process is about the electricity, something like that. It's not using the, even still coal gas tu, tapi but still the fuel cell itself using the kind of things lah. Ethanol and methanol as the main liquid. Instead of using the crude oil ataupun gasoline kan. Contoh, example, and anything that you can think. Okay. So saja kita nak ajak berborak-borak. Saja borak-borak sekejap. Kita brainstorming. Chapter 1 ni dia macam ice breaking lah kan. Ice breaking. Okay. Oh, terpotong. Sorry. Sekejap Resources. Okay. Give some examples of renewable energy resources. Boleh bagi satu? Boleh bagi satu contoh? Selain daripada solar. Bosan betul lah solar. Benda lain yang rare sikit. Ada? Any idea?
Biomass.
Biomass pun dah tak rare dah. Dah banyak bakal modal tu kan. Okey lah biomass lah. Fine. Whatever. Okay, ini adalah biomass. Tidal. Tadi dah sebut lah. Tides. Boleh lah. Okey lah biomass and tidal. Okay. What are they? Apa itu biomass? Biomass energy. Nak orang lain jawab. Nak aku sebut nama ke? Nak volunteer? Cepat. Biomass. What is biomass?
Biomass ni
Apa tu?
dia menggunakan macam bahan-bahan yang sudah digunakan.
Bahan-bahan yang telah digunakan. Contoh?
Contoh kan. Contoh dia macam sampah-sampah
Okay,
yang,
sampah-sampah.
yang mengeluarkan gas yang tertentu.
Oh, okay.
Najis one.
Najis lah.
Boleh.
Lebih senang.
Tahi lah, tahi. Najis lah. Relax lah. Kita open. Kita freedom of speech. Situ lah. Okay, coming from the... Okay lah, tadi siapa sebut tadi? Faiz dia sebut najis. Aku sangat dia najis tu. Okay. It also can come from the waste. Plantation waste. Kalau nak bunyi lebih profesional bagi saya, if you explain ni biomass, kita daripada sampah kan, kita sebut waste. Technical term dia tu macam waste lah. Okay. Lebih spesifik lagi yang the most, I think, I'm also dealing with that. One of the project sikit-sikit lah. We are dealing with the pineapple waste, pineapple plantation. Kau jangan tengok pada situasi rumah kau tu yang sampah kecil-kecil kan. Dia simple sangat. Dan kau janganlah tengok yang angkat dari sampah tu nampak macam, kita nampak, oh my god, it looks very complex to handle. So actually if you go more global, bukan global, kita pergi lebih governmental punya thinking, more advanced. Okay, kalau sebagai politician tu kau tengok lebih besar kan. Kan scope politician kan dia kena sembang kuat kan. Dan kita tengok pada waste, plantation waste. Plantation tu yang macam dekat tepi-tepi jalan ataupun contoh kau pergi Muazzam kan, kau nampaknya ada plantation, ada palm oil, ada palm oil yang besar-besar, ladang besar-besar tu kan. We're talking about the scale, the mega scale. So that one for example, palm oil for example, dia akan daun. That daun also will sometimes when it comes to the edge and then it will drop, bukan drop, panggil apa tu? Jatuh, tua, and then dia akan jatuh atas lantai tu. So itu satu pokok, dah berapa banyak dahan-dahan yang jatuh. So you imagine for the several acres of the hektar lah, several hektar punya mega size. So you can see a lot of waste there. Banyak sangat waste tu. So that's the one of the solution to cater with this kind of waste. Other than, of course lah, sampah is other thing. And for that thing also, dia ada yang tu pun jadi waste, is part of the biomass. Yang tu sebenarnya major sebenarnya. Bukan kita tengok pada najis-najis saja. Ada najis saja tak cukup. Tak banyak mana dah najis tu. Tapi yang banyak ni plantation waste tu, yang banyak betul. Yang tu lah yang dia gunakan. They take it and they put in the boiler. I think the boiler, and then the boiler will, that kind of waste will produce the siapa cakap tadi? Syamim ke? Bukan. Ridwan cakap mungkin dia akan keluar gas tertentu. That gas is I think the methane, something like that lah. That kind of gas that coming from the heating that kind of waste. Then the gas will evaporate, and all the gas will evaporate and it will turn the turbine. Turbine will turn on. So once turbine is turned on, you are now having the unlimited energy resources lah, because the turbine is already rotating. So kita pakai yang konsep motor tu kan, and then generator kan, so and it will generate electricity lah. It's coming originally, I can say that most of the cases if you see lah, using turbine, okay, but the natural resources it become biomass, maybe bio dia ada turbine tu pusingkan tu, evaporate tu dia akan turn the turbine on kan. Same with the hydro also have the turbine. It will rotate the flow of the water flowing water will turn on, will rotate the turbine. Once the turbine is rotated, so you can imagine already generate electricity. Same with the tidal maybe slightly different because they have the air pasang surut kan, they have the low level, high level, but still they have the turbine there, the turbine also will move. Okay, it's the same thing but slightly different with the hydroelectric one lah. Sama, same with the hydro, same with the wind energy. The wind energy also using the turbine, right? To say kan. So that's very clear. That's why most cases we can say that when you say renewable energy, you can say lah most cases using the turbine lah. Using the turbine to generate electricity is the most common structure for the renewable energy. Other than solar will use the panel. We use the concept of photovoltaic cell, equivalent scale, something like that. Absorb the absorbance of the material. It play with roof with the material there to absorb the energy, blah blah blah. Concept photosynthesis coming for the solar. And then the solar doesn't need that electricity. That's why solar are more solar system tu, solar energy is much more easier and consumer friendly, kids friendly semua pun boleh buat. Orang yang tak tahu apa-apa pun sekarang pun nak main solar, macam tu. Punya senang lah. So saya punya bidang ni macam dah tak best lah. Dia jadi macam orang dah berebut-rebut kan, jadi macam tak syok kan. Dulu kita macam eksklusif kan, sekarang ni orang dah berebut nak masuk teknologi, contoh kan. Semua pun nak pergi situ kan. Businessman pun nak pergi situ, politician pun nak pergi situ. Aku sebut politician je. Kan ada yang SB dalam ni nanya kan. Okay. That's tidal also same. Tidal rare sikit lah. Tidal tu lah dia main structure. The turbine itself tu dia kena main dengan material that can withstand the sea water punya rusting. Kalau dia lebih senang berkarat. Sea water tu boleh cepat lagi mengaratkan metal. So that turbine tu kena ada coating lah. Coating yang coated glass, ceramic ke, tak tahu lah kan. Maksudnya ada coating kat situ. So a lot of things to think for the tides. Dan kalau oversize kan, macam datang tsunami pun dia boleh broken down ataupun boleh dismantle kan, sebab terlampau high wave. Itu pun ada criticality dah. Dekat mana nak install, dekat mana nak letak, dalam mana. It's all about the critical design for that tides. Okay, any location in Malaysia, siapa tahu yang tadi member dia sebut biomass? Dekat mana ada? Show me the place. Siapa tahu biomass ada kat mana?
Kuala Ketil.
Apa?
Kedah je, Kuala Ketil.
You pergi sana ke?
Ya.
Apa? Apa nama tu? NI?
Bukan. Saya sebelum masuk belajar, saya kerja sebagai contractor. Pergilah visit site.
Okay. Besar ke dia punya tu? Scale dia besar ke?
Tak saja, cuma boleh keluarkan energi sebanyak 2 megawatt saja.
2 megawatt bertahan jugalah. 2 megawatt tu bukan kilowatt lah.
Bukan. 2 megawatt.
Waste tu dapat dari mana? Ada supplier hantar ke apa?
Tak, dia kilang tu dia sendiri. Dia palm oil refinery, then dia akan akan masuk dalam boiler.
Palm oil, maksudnya dia punya waste tadi lah?
Ya.
Dia masuk. Okey. Itu contoh baik. Sebab ada saksi dalam ni. Jadi apa? Saksi kejadian. Okey. Kat mana tadi? Menarik ni. Apa ni?
Dekat Kuala Ketil, Kedah je.
Kuala Ketil.
Kedah.
Boleh lah nak visit ni. Kan asyik visit solar farm sebelum ni masa physical class. We always went to the solar farm. I think we went to the solar farm Pasir Mas 2 times already. We went to solar farm Air Keroh 1 time. We went to solar farm Kumpulan Melaka Berhad 1 time also. That one in Alor Gajah pun. Lepas tu the most recent before the COVID season, we went to the Sun Power Manufacturing Sdn Bhd in Melaka also. They are fabricating the solar cell. They are manufacturing the solar cell. Start from scratch. Start from the silicon material until the cell. Cell tu maksudnya kalau modul solar modul besar tu kan ada petak kan. So that petak we call that single cell kan. So in Malaysian Sun Power, they fabricate until the cell is done, export to the USA for the assembling to become the full module type. Macam tu. Contohlah. Macam menarik kan. Tu kalau nak pergi, tu lah sekarang ni COVID kan. Ke boleh pergi? Takut kena halang kan. I think that one, because we frequently went to the solar farm, and recently in Pekan also we have the 100 megawatt in front of the sebelum Tanjung Selangor tu. You tak tahu ni budak-budak Gambang Gambang ke? Nak pergi Tanjung Selangor tu daripada yang pergi Pekan gate tu sampai yang pergi Selangor nanti belah 14 kiri kan. That one I think ERS ni kot. Project, tapi projek Majlis Daerah Pekan. So that one is 100 mega. So 100 megawatt size of the solar farm. LSS. Large scale solar kan. Begitulah. Tapi yang dapat pergi tempat-tempat Kuala Ketil ni menarik kan. Saja nak tengok-tengok kan. Tengoklah kalau boleh nanti 4-5 orang jadi lah. Okay, what are the main components? Tadi saya dah bagi soalan bocor. Jawapan bocor tadi, turbine lah. That is the main components for most cases of the renewable energy. They're using the turbine. And for sure lah, we use the DC, maybe we use DC, or maybe they have AC, I'm not sure. But I think mostly guna DC generator. Mungkin saya tak tengok sendiri. Okay, let's stick with the biomass. Kan? Tak sangka ada saksi ni, menarik ni. Kalau kita boleh modal sembang lepas ni. Okay, what are the advantages and disadvantages of this energy? Siapa boleh bagi tahu? Apa kelebihan, what is the benefits, and what is the defects of the biomass and energy? Nurul Ain Izzati. Ain Izzati.
Saya sir.
Apa benefits and the defects of the biomass energy? What do you think? Sebut je, lontar je.
Advantage dia itulah boleh jadi renewable energy tu kan. Daripada guna sumber yang kita guna sekarang lah.
Oh, maksudnya kita boleh guna balik lah sampah-sampah sarap tu kan.
Apa tadi semua tu.
Lepas tu, disadvantage dia?
Disadvantage dia kalau kita kekurangan bahan terbuang tu.
Kekurangan bahan terbuang. Menarik tu. Okay. Apa disadvantage dia? Saya nak tanya disadvantage. Fatin.
Bau je.
Apa? Tak dengar?
Bau.
Alamak, kau ni aku baru nak semua. Kau ni tak syok lah beritahu awal. Tak tanya kau pun. Betul tu, bau yang kurang menyenangkan. Mungkin lah. Tapi that one if you deal with the shit tu maksudnya kalau kau main dengan tahi tu lah kan, bau lah. Tapi kalau main dengan waste palm oil tu, dia tak ada bau sangat. Bau daun lah kot. Bau yang kurang menyenangkan. Mungkin that kind of work maybe, itulah orang yang nak involved dengan working tu pun satu hal dekat lah. One of the reason tu, dia punya sustainability of the waste production tu. Sekarang ni mungkin dah kan, dia menyebabkan pollution tak. Okay. Biomass ni, dia bakar, saya rasa boil, kita main boil, dia ada keluar gas lah. Dia ada keluar gas tu. Gas tu lah yang akan memusingkan turbine. Saya merasakan pollution tu mungkin ada juga nanti. Contohnya, dia tak semua totally habis kan. Saya rasa mesti ada sisa-sisa kan. Mungkin ada bau-bau yang kurang menyenangkan mengalir. Mungkin lah. Sebab kita tak guna masif lagi. Jadi tak nampak mudarat. Netizen pun tak buat kerja lagi kan. Kalau netizen dah ada branch yang bahagian perisikan renewable energy ni, mungkin lebih cepat lah korang tahu apa pollution dia. Setakat ni saya tak dengar negativity untuk biomass lah. Belum lagi secara jelas lah. Mungkin siapa yang kerja, mungkin Ganesh ada apa-apa nak tambah ke? Ada pollution tak daripada tu?
Dia pollution dia kurang sebab dia ada filter dalam dia punya fuel chamber.
Okay.
So kalau tanya saya, dia macam mahal lah
Cost dia?
Costing mahal compare tu ada lah.
Tak, kenapa mahal? You rasa kenapa mahal? Benda ni rare lagi. Sekarang orang fokus on solar. Solar dulu saya sebut dulu pada tahun 2016, saya sebut itu kan 2016, 100 watt solar panel tu harga dia RM380. Sekarang ni saya tengok pula balik 2018. Saya terjumpa di Cowboy. Harga dia RM170. Itu Cowboy. Itu 2018. So sekarang 2021. 2022. Tak tahu apa harga dia.
Mungkin sebab dia mass production. Sebab dia
mass production.
ramai pakai.
So maksudnya kita boleh grab tu, entrepreneur tu. Kita boleh deal kan, direct kan. Kita pergi China kan, balik kan. Kita cari barang yang filter apa, chamber yang mahal tu kan. Kita buat Tapi kena campaign dulu lah. Tapi by the time nanti orang semua stop guna biomass, I believe memang harga akan turun. Sekarang orang tak buka lagi kan. Sekarang mungkin boleh cari makan lagi lah. Macam Betul lah tu. Oh, tu harga mahal Okey. Yang mana mahal? Filter
Tak sir, dia
The whole.
macam
The whole.
the whole plant tu macam mahal sangat.
Okey. Macam tak relevan
Dia-
dah kan. Kos
Macam nak collect dia punya gas tu dia kena ada balloon. So, balloon yang besar sangat, lepas tu dia ada pump semua banyak.
Oh.
Kalau-
Banyak pump lah
Banyak benda.
Weh, kena visit ni. Menarik. Nanti awak lead lah. Saya biasanya before this tu memang siapa sembang kencang je. Aku buat kerja. Sembang promote kami ni kan. Buat kita kerja sikit, kita naik bar 2. Contoh lah. Tengok kok ada rezeki nanti ada masa lapang kita. Kok lah kan. Dah okey kan. Bila dah kena second booster second booster dah kena. Semua dah boleh berkeliaran kan. Tak apa. Okay. Okay. Do you think the cost is cheaper? Menjawab awak ni tadi nampak gaya mahal Betul? Macam mahal Macam mahal. Sebab dia baru lagi kot. Barang-barang. Is it totally green energy? Is it totally green energy?
Yes.
Yes. Confident. Ni cara orang yang nak bertanding. Yes.
Sir, yang Muhammad tu sir.
Yang berhormat. Masya Allah. Mana ni? Apa nama parti baru tu? Tak ingat. Pejuang. Okay. Kenapa? Faiz, kenapa? Why you say that it's totally green energy, biomass tu? Kenapa? Sebab kala hijau. Macam.
Kan dia cakap tak ada percemaran
Kurang pollution. Pollution kurang. Okay. Kita tak payah tengok lah pasal cost kan. Cost tak tepi dulu. Kita nampak tu nak macam green lah sebab kita selesaikan masalah plantation punya owner. Lepas tu kita selesaikan masalah sampah sarap yang tidak terkawal. Dan kita generate pula energy, so dia nampak macam ada capability untuk diketengahkan kan. Maksudnya lepas season of solar ni, sebab wind pun dia ada isu dia sendiri. Wind ni kalau pasal Malaysia dia tak seganas tempatnya windy macam dekat, saya lupa lah negara mana yang ada offshore. Dia ada offshore lagi windmill lah. wind turbine tu offshore atas laut kan. Sebab dia very, very windy kan. Malaysia punya saya rasa dia lebih pada solar lagi kot. Belum lagi sampai tahap wind tu. Ataupun sebenarnya tak sesuai kan. Norway kot mungkin. Area situ lah. Saya pun dah tak ingat lah. Itu memang totally pakai wind total. Memang dia underwater punya cabling. Memang ganas lah tu. Tapi kita punya saya nampak begini, kita ada banjir, flood lagi apa semua kan. Angin pun kita unstable kan. Sebab dia kena ada minimum, contohnya 4 millisecond kan. 4 meter per second. Dia punya minimum speed in order to generate wind energy, if I'm not mistaken lah. 4 ke 2? 4 kan. Cuba check balik lecturer akan salah. Boleh check balik. 4, if I'm not mistaken 4 meter per second of wind speed. At least minimum. In order to feasibly install that wind turbine system, you kena ada yang that kind of wind punya ni lah, windy punya wind speed ni lah. Dia tak boleh main ikut dan kau rasa sejuk, berangin ni, kau pun install. Dia tak profesional kan. Tak profesional dan tidak beretika. Okay. Then, itulah. If you asking, last question do you think it's relevant in Malaysia? Nampak guideline relevant lah sebab kita ada plantation. Plantation kita banyak. Kita ada daripada felda yang besar-besar. Kelapa sawit lah banyak. Kelapa sawit, getam kiran, nampak? Kelapa sawit, lepas tu nenas, pineapple. Dekat Pekan, area Sungai Miang tu kita ada plantation yang agak besar. Pineapple waste. Dia hybrid tapi dia punya pineapple tu. Tu pun sama juga. Daun nenas tu berlebih-lebih, tak tahu nak buang mana. Lepas tu kos nak buang tu satu hal, nak angkat logi apa semua kan. Tu nak kena sewa semua. It's all about cost lah. So the most, tu kan ada projek certain lah yang buat macam tu. Boleh? Hafizah Ali. Boleh ikut? Tidur. Okay, sebaik reply. Okay, contoh ini yang kejadian hari tu Sultan Mahmud Elektrik Kenyir yang ada banjir yang bukan disebabkan pembalakan tapi disebabkan oleh pokok tumbang. Apa saya tak ingat. Pokok tumbang macam mana tu? Contoh saya bagi contoh je. Kenyir, tak salah saya. Di belah kiri walaupun saya tak nak pergi. Saya Google je. And then the right one ni sebenarnya gambar yang lama lah. So agak nampak sangat saya recycle sebab ni bapak dah old school lah. Ini masa yang ni dulu kita pernah pergi dah. Tahun bila saya tak ingat 2018 ke? Ini kita pergi. Ini memang dia kita pergi. 2018. Tak salah saya. 2017 ke 2018 we went there. At that time 8 megawatt ni kira besar lah saiz tu. Masa tu LSS large scale solar yang kita yang apa nama SEDA punya kempen polisi government punya polisi punya LSS tu belum ada lagi, tak salah saya. Masa ni baru ada FIT NEM masih ada lagi. FIT masih ada lagi masa ni. So at the time 8 megawatt ni antara saiz yang boleh dibanggakan lah ketika itu. Sekarang ni 100 megawatt pekan aja. Sudah beza lah kan. Time ni pun I think if I'm not mistaken the rate they get also quite higher. I think almost RM1 per kilowatt hour. Now you know how much? Siapa tahu sekarang per kilowatt hour untuk large scale solar berapa cents? Ada yang siapa tahu tak? Is there anyone knows? Aziz?
Ya, Doktor.
Ni Aziz mana ni?
Aziz mana?
Oh, ada dua Aziz Okey, sorry.
Oh, bukan.
Boleh, tak kisahlah Aziz. Pernah dengar tak berapa cents? Berapa dia punya kilowatt hour tu? Kita panggil FIT punya rate tu.
Yang ni, apa?
Solar farm sekarang. Large scale solar. Ada tahu?
Tak tahu lagi.
Tak tahu
Tak tahu.
Tak tahu. Kita try tanya. Kok ada yang tahu dalam ni. Amir Aizat. Saja nak tahu tak ni tidur ke tak tidur. Amir Aizat. Panggilan kedua. Amir Aizat panggilan ketiga. Nampak? Sebab tu nak face to face.
Ya,
Okey. Siapa?
Saya.
Tu Amir Aizat. Kenapa sampai dua kau punya ni?
Sekejap. Saya. Sekejap.
Ni mengelirukan pihak lawan.
Ya.
Ni lain sikit.
Jadi dua.
Kuat sikit ni. Berapa? Ada idea berapa cents?
Saya kurang pasti
Kurang pasti. Nampak macam ada jawapan tu. Kurang pasti. Tak apa. Kita tanya. Dua orang lagi saja nak buang masa. Pukul 3. Hasif Azman. Kenal Hasif ni.
Ya, saya Doktor.
Hasif. Siap Hasif.
Oh, saya Doktor. Alhamdulillah.
Macam mana? Ada idea?
Berapa
sen? Kau teka je lah pun. Dosa pun. Nakut
75 sen Doktor.
kau. Berapa sen? Menalik?
75 sen kot.
75 sen? Weh, tinggi. Ini masa ketika 2015 logik lah. 75 sen. 80 sen. RM1. Boleh pergi. Masa tahun ni. Ni tahun macam dia siap lah. Tahun dia siap. Tak berhati. Alia Ashifah. 2 kali lah sebut nama ni.
Ni saya.
Tahu tak? Ada idea tak? Berapa sen?
Tak tahu je.
Teka pun tak nak.
Tak tahulah
Tak
je.
tahu Tak apalah. Okey. Tak salah saya, ternyata saya dengar 17 cents only. 17 sen. Saya dengar tahun lepas tak salah saya. 17 sen sahaja. Okey. 17 sen balik modal ke? Okey, berapa kilowatt hour? 100 kilowatt hour pertama berapa kita bayar kat TMB? Izzuddin? What the first 100 kilowatt hour? How much we pay? We pay to the per kilowatt hour tu berapa kita bayar ke TMB tu? Tak ada idea tu. Anggaran je lah. Kau dah pergi LI belum? Belum.
Ada.
Dah pergi dah?
Ha.
Ke LI kat mana ni kau?
UMP.
Oh, UMP? Projek-projek ni lah. Projek-projek ni. Okey. Tak apa. Dia tanya seorang lagi. Christopher.
Yes, sir.
How much we pay to the first 100 kilowatt hour? How much we pay to the TMB? The rate tu.
I'm not so sure, sir.
Not sure. Tak tengok bil lah. Okey lah. 28 cents lebih kurang. Tak salah saya lah. 28 cents. Tadi LSS 17 cent. So nampak tak? Kat situ kan? So kalau tak skill besar ni, dia nak ROI ni letih ke lah. So until that rate, that's why LSS instead of LSS is considered, saya ulang balik kau tak tahu, nanti kau Google LSS, large scale solar. Yang ini size dia 100 megawatt, if I'm not mistaken. 100 megawatt can be declared as the LSS. Okay, if you go with the policy, with the incentive of the LSS lah. But NEM, saja bagi keyword awal-awal supaya kau Google. NEM ni yang paling popular sekarang ni, tengah mencanak-canak ni kan. NEM is the Net Energy Metering. The latest one, if you see the SEDA, NEM Rakyat. NEM Rakyat, ada bunyi rakyat kan. Cuma tak ada NEM Netizens. Saya tunggu kat kalau ada netizen kan. Okay. Yang ini boleh juga lebih pada 100 megawatt, tapi itu kalau combine lah. Combine. NEM if I'm not mistaken less than 1 megawatt lah. Okay, less than 1 megawatt. Saya sebut Net Energy Metering. Kau boleh Google. Okay. Yang ni dia ada Nova, dia ada NEM 3.0, NEM Rakyat, Nova, macam-macam lah. Macam-macam lagi. Ini is all about the. Yang ini kalau Google NEM ni, dia punya basis dia lain. Dia adalah 1 to 1. Okay. 1 to 1 basis. Yang ni sekarang residential, even certain university pun they are going for that route. We are using NEM instead of the LSS. Sebab LS tadi 17 cents only per kilowatt hour. While for the NEM is 1 to 1 basis, means the first 100 kilowatt hour following the standard tariff rate. For example, for the first 200 ke 100 is 28 cents. So you also, if you generate the first 100 kilowatt hour, then you get you can sell to the TMB with the same rate of the 28 cents. Kalau after that 33 cents for example, so and that one for example 350 kan, the remaining tu akan also become 350. So apa yang dapat dengan keluar tu nampaklah dia ada keuntungan lah, adalah keberbaloi tu ada, there's that. Okay, that's why we are doing for the NEM. Dan kota still ada lagi lah. Walaupun saya sembang je, tapi tak buat pun sampai sekarang. Berapa tahun dah duk menyembang ni kan. Macam tu. Okay, this is what we call NEM and LSS. So dua tu keywording ini memang standard lah. Kalau kau bersebut ni masa kau you are in the good track of the PV technology. Macam tu. At least with the policy, Malaysia policy tu you dah on track lah. Orang tak boleh kencing juga. Eli dah tahu LSS. LS tu yang solar farm mostly solar farm scale. LSS lah, 1 megawatt. Senang cerita, solar power plant semua tu kan, tu memang LSS. NEM tu ada kawasan rumah, ada premise, even yang ada bersih NEM pun you boleh sharing lagi. Boleh sharing profit. Bukanlah sharing profit, boleh hantar generated tu, energy tu you boleh distribute kredit tu pada premise yang register bawah SSM contohnya. Register bawah syarikat yang sama pun boleh. Dia ada plan baru lah. Yang tu kena Google kat SEDA lah. Yang tu memang tak ada pun dalam ni. Tu saya just cerita the recent incentive and the policy of the Malaysia. Ini pun sama juga. Saya bagi contoh. Ni tahun 2016 siap. Ini Tamil Nadu is Indian. It's Indian but mega scale. Very mega scale, which is 648 gigawatt. Tak main bang, mega-mega ni. Main gigawatt terus. It's located in the India. Okay. But now I think China also cut off the. So there were several places also. which is mega scale. Ini contoh gambar yang saya Google ambil je lah kat internet. Ni tak salah saya, it cost until berapa biji cost dia almost 700 million US dollars, 2,500 acres of land. And then I think the number of solar modules used in this solar farm is around 2.5 millions, if I'm not mistaken. 2.5 million modules. Big 2.5 million, 2.5 juta modul. PV modul tu lah, PV panel yang korang sebut tu. Gitu. Okay, kita dah habis sembang situ. So we just go with the term. There's a new term we call it as energy security. Okay, what is the energy security? I'm still need to use this kind of things because it's in syllabus. But in question, I think in test and also final, we are not going to take out this kind of question because it's written here. Very easy kan. So ni just tahulah. Okay, there's term of the technology term lah yang recent punya. We call it as energy security. There's a different definition for several agency. For example, IEA ataupun International Energy Agency. I just looks like I'm doing the simple citation now. Right? Energy supply is secure if it is sufficient, affordable and reliable. Okay. Energy is secured, fully secured. If sufficient mencukupi, adequate, affordable, the price is at the price macam tadi, biomass tadi belum boleh secure lagi lah. Senang cerita lah. Sebab biomass tadi tak affordable pun certain part. Mungkin dia agak masih costing lagi. And reliable, I'm not sure reliability tu kena tengok output lah on that place, on that collar ketil for example. We still cannot guarantee the energy coming from the biomass is already secured. But PV saya rasa, PV still lagi lah, we still dealing with the unstable recent weather conditions, several flood tiba-tiba, itu pun masih lagi kita tak boleh define as the secure lah. But if we install the solar system in the bulan, moon, maybe consistent lah. That's why NASA, the plantation there, they're using the main source of the solar directly because they don't have weather there. But I think in moon also dia ada ribut lah. Tak pasti. Dia ada storm juga kot. Tapi still, it looks like more stable than the Earth, because Earth they have the weather, we have the atmosphere, but the space is vacuumized. So vacuumized means that there's no factor of the itulah tadi yang mengganggu kan, tak ada awan dan sebagainya. Okay. For the European Commission, EC, okay, uninterrupted physical availability of energy products on the market at the price which is affordable for all consumers. Okay. EC ni clear cut sikit, dia lebih market price, affordable, consumers, private industrial. So, energy is considered secured if affordable for all consumers. Sekarang ni biomass tadi tak ada lagi kan. Contoh lah, sebab costly tadi tak boleh. So, I think we are still not reaching the energy security for the renewable energy one. But I think for the fossil fuel or gas, we have reached already maybe. But now, it's degrading and deteriorating. Okay. Risk of energy security, energy market instability, tahu kan, Russia, okay? Russia punya impact, yang Russia-Ukraine punya war, saja sebut sikit supaya recent trend punya worldly punya matters kan. So it's totally affect the energy market instability and the price for the spike up, apa yang spike up, jatuh. Dia mata wang currency kan, so jatuh kan. Lepas tu I think it will continue untuk yang kalau masa ni memang akan main energy market lah. Tu that is the risk of energy security, is all about the market stability. And then technical failures, unexpected technical failures, broken, malfunction, that kind of things lah. Physical security threats, yang ni physical security threats ni physical ni lebih pada attack berdua, mungkin coming from the disaster, so can be one of them. Sabotage pun ada juga. Okay. Then ni ada citation sikit ni. Energy security is crucial to guarantee an uninterruptible and reliable of supply of energy not only to the nation but also to the world's continuous sustainable development. So, energy security tu, one is the cost, reliable and uninterrupted. Uninterrupted ni payah ni. Uninterrupted sebab we are generating directly from the natural resources. So that is, is unstable. We have the weather condition which is unexpected lagi. So that's still we haven't reached yet to the energy security of renewable energy. We can't say. Three main components are laid out by the Asia Pacific Energy Research Center. Ini adalah APERC. Ini tadi kita ada European, kita ada International Energy Agency. But now we're playing with the Asia Pacific. So physical availability of energy resources. Okay, availability of energy resources also play the critical role. Economic affordability, again, affordability in gaining the resource and building of energy relevant infrastructure. Macam yang Jenny cakap tadi, masih lagi tak affordable kan. Kalau ekologi macam mahal je. Untuk structure biomass saja makan masa. Bukan makan masa satu hal. Costing. Nampak costing dia jelas. Sedangkan solar modul boleh dibeli 650 kan. 450 watt. Now the price is only 700 ringgit lah maybe. Or cheaper than that. So sekarang sangat-sangat itu affordable lah. But other than that, still cannot guarantee. Environmental acceptability of resources such to the supply to the public is all about the public concerns and the promotion to the people lah. Mungkin contoh hydroelectric. Okay, hydroelectric we need to create the dam. Create the dam means that you need to do the blockage of certain in the high place, so that blockage will store the energy, will store the water, huge amount of water. Means that you need to submerge the nearest kampung kan, the nearest village kan. Hutan-hutan tertenggelam sikit kan. Sebab nak takut mai. So that's one of the. So at the time maybe mungkin ada tanah-tanah orang terjejas, mungkin public buat demonstration ke, macam tu lah konsep lah contoh. Ini critical main components lah yang critical kat sini. So this primary energy consumption by fuel, carbon emissions is getting to reduce. Okay. Faster transition. Ini saja saya crop data je ni. Contohnya renewable energy kan, is expected to increase. Okay. Renewable energy kat sini. Okay. Lepas tu ni renewable energy, lepas tu ada hydro sini. Lepas tu oil ni getting slower lah, oil. Tapi tak penting sangat pun ni. Then this one, the end use sector, region and fuel. And then towards the years, throughout the years 2014, mainly go the transport, but it's all about buildings lah. That's why building getting higher. We have the structure with totally smart. That's why it's using for the buildings that smart, which is using the use of the renewable energy will spike. Okay, will totally spike up. And then in this one is region, divided into region. OECD ni, I think there's several, I forgot, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. There's several countries who are classified under the OECD. It's not only one country. But if you see an interesting thing here is, you see the China one. I'm not promoting China, but you see, they are soaring up the numbers. While there's no different. They are slightly, I think, lesser than the OECD countries. OECD is consistent of several. I think I forgot. Before that I read 16. But now maybe increasing the numbers of countries who are classified as the OECD. Okay. What about the China? China beat the highest. Only the China except the China mainland can go until that level lah. Okay. And then for the what type of the fuel? Okay, type of the fuel including renewables, hydro, nuclear, something like that. So the oil, you can see that the oil is still there. Still, dia tak drop, but it's stagnant. Okay, stagnant. But still, the demand for the oil we cannot neglect everybody because we still use the gasoline. Okay, the high rated gasoline for the flight transportation. The aeroplane still using there. The what do you call that? The ship, the container ship, the carrier The container carry yang besar-besar tu, kapal kontainer bapak besar tu, itu pun still lagi guna minyak. Jadi that's why we cannot stop. They totally abusing the oil, cannot stop. Will not stop. Unless ni macam mana? Tak cukup. If the big ship that kind of big carrier tu memang pakai energi yang sangat banyak. So tak boleh lah pakai PV saja. Sebab sana kan ada ribut semua kan. Atas laut kan penuh dengan ribut-ribut ranjau-ranjau berliku kan. Jadi mungkin payah lah. Masih lagi kekal. Why the renewables keep increasing lah. Nampaklah perubahan itu. Ni expectation projection dia. The coal cannot be eliminated, but still we have still the resources. That's why we keep there. Nuclear. Nuclear is increasing, you see. Nuclear is actually the most beneficial for me. The most profitable is actually the nuclear. If there's no problem with the safety one, because the system emits the radioactive rays. If it's not a problem, people will use 100% in the world. If the radioactive emissions tu is not a problem lah. Alamak, pukul 3 dah. And then scenario, again, OECD, there's no different with the China. China quite massively used. This one is the almost 140 terawatt hours. Key pace of power market penetration, renewables are getting popular. Okay, getting popular. Recently lah. I think this one near the season of Chernobyl kan. Tahu Chernobyl? Chernobyl yang dekat mana tah? Tempat tu Chernobyl kan. After that Chernobyl, Ukraine.
Disampaikan tahu kan.
Okay. Since that cases, saya tak ingat tahun bila tu kan. Tapi disebabkan situlah. Masa tu agak popular time tu kan. Lepas daripada tu dia drop lah. Dia ada problem kat situ lah. Dia tak fokus more on the market penetration sekarang ni renewables lah. Memang 2015 yang tadi kalau tengok yang Malaysia punya start pun 2014 kan dah siap kan. So masa 2015 sampai sekarang tu memang sekarang tengah memang sangat meluas sangat lah. Even banyak company solar pun tumbuh macam hujan. Tumbuh macam cendawan selepas hujan. Punya banyak kan. Company yang buat solar farm pun dah bersepah-sepah. LSS. Regardless lah 70 cents per kilowatt hour. But it's all about the capability, affordability tu dah secured untuk case PV tadi lah. Okay, Taiwan Energy. Saya bagi jawapan terus. Okay. Nuclear also is energy. Nuclear also but it's non-renewable. Kenapa non-renewable? Sama lah kes dia daripada galian. It's coming from the galian. But we have a lot. Actually, we have adequate and a lot of material of cesium, uranium, plutonium. Actually, we have lots. We don't use all. Kat Malaysia contohnya ada kat kawasan Bangi, ada pusat penyelidikan nuklear kan, dekat Bangi contohnya kan. Ada cesium di situ. Yang tu a very small amount of the cesium, sebenarnya kalau you pergi dekat pusat sains negara kot, ke planetarium lah, tak ingat lah. Pusat sains negara kot. Okay, pusat sains negara tu, dia ada satu tempat tu, dia punya equivalency of the energy. So saya tak ingat, saya ada snap gambar itu, saya tak ingat. Nuklear tu dia punya scale, kilo dia tu. Maksudnya, if it's not the radioactive, I repeat, if the radioactive rays is not the problem for the nuclear, I believe me myself, I am the first person will use massively nuclear. Kenapa? If it's not a problem, kenapa? Why, Ganesh? What do you think? Why?
Itu
apa dia? Energi dia?
small amount but dia akan bagi
Yes. Dia main megawatt small amount. Contoh you imagine if the nuclear problem tak ada masalah langsung kan. Kau nampak panel kan jual kat Shopee kan. Nuklear ni orang jual kat pasar borong. Pasar borong bang, gula sekilo bang. Bang, cesium sekilo bang. Weh, cesium sekilo tu tahan 3 bulan. Sejak air bulan 6 tahun. 6 bulan punya generate energy. Saya bayangkan apa saya gambar ni, saya mepek sikit lah. So dia lah mengarut sikit. kita ada satu chamber khas yang untuk, ibarat kata dah kita ada macam oven, you see oven, sebab dia nak bakar kan, dia very high temperature, that's why dia memang dia nak keluarkan, and then dia akan produce yang tinggi tu, dia ada cooling system dan sebagainya lah, so dia akan play with that. Let's say kita tak dalam oven, kau bakar je, kan, sekejap sap, boleh generate, masuk bateri terus, memang mega scale, tahan 6 bulan. Ibarat kata begitu, beli sekilo je, bang sekilo bang, cesium 51 sekilo, pututnya 200 gram, settle, boleh survive dah beberapa bulan tanpa bergantung pada TMB macam tu. Kalau nuklear not a problem, dia radioaktif tu, alpha beta semua tu kan, yang microsievert punya measurement tu, kalau itu bukan masalahnya, saya sendiri bawa dekat sini, saya simpan 100 gram kan, kita pakai letak dalam tu, panaskan kuah api, megawatt, megawatt settle lah, ada bateri, generate terus, selesai. Itulah ibarat kata, small amount produce the massive size of the watts. That's why lah nuklear tu sebenarnya, kita pun ada nak pergi ke arah nuklear kan, tiba-tiba jadi 2011 yang dekat Jepun tu, yang mega quake tu, 9.0 dekat Sendai, and then that's not the problem one lah. Tsunami tu satu hal lah, dia satu lagi tu dia attack kat Fukushima Daiichi plant. Saya ada di situ masa tu, 100 kilo je dari situ masa tu saya tengah buat master, so I'm just 100 kilometers from that Fukushima Daiichi plant. I was in Ibaraki also, and that one is Fukushima, before to the Sendai, around less than 100 km radius. Masa tu aku relax je, tapi orang Malaysia dia gembar-gembur, aku jadi takut masa tu kan. Tapi Malaysia tak hantar balik lah, sebab kawasan tu tak sampai situ, dia 30 km radius saja, dia problem kan. Dia leak, dia pecah, dia punya bombong pecah, bocor. So dia punya cerita di sebalik story dia tu, pekerja-pekerja dia memang high exposure gila-gilanya, memang thousand milli of sievert, microsievert kan, kita level microsievert tu 3 tu pun dah tinggi kan, dia bukan micro, milli sievert, so dia agak tinggi kat situ lah. Kat situ lah problem dia, memang itu memang pokok mati semua, memang sekarang ni memang ghost town lah jadi. Saya sempat pergi sebelum saya balik, saya ambil PhD saya 2016, I finish my PhD, that time happened on 2011, masa tu saya master second year kot, master second, then I continue PhD, and then before I went back to Malaysia, my friend told me that they open road already, because they already 5 years, I think, because they are calculating the lifetime kan, dia ada berapa sila kan, so after that 5 years they finally open the road beside, very near to the daripada Sendai, from the Sendai to Ibaraki tu dia satu road lah, nombor road biasa, so dia buka selepas 5 tahun dia buka. Saya pun pandai kan, member cabang lalu situ waktu malam kan, bila saya lalu cross the road around 30 km juga lah, 30 km, aku sampai setengah aku menyesal tak sudah. Sebab apa? Saya tengok ada dia punya indikator kan dekat jalan tu, 3 lebih kan, microsievert kan, gelabah kan, nyesal lalu habis melekat kat kereta lah masa tu lah. Tapi dah nak kena go on lah, sebab yang tu betul-betul dia macam ghost town lah, macam Resident Evil lah. The left and the right side of the way tu is all closed, the gasoline stands, everything is closed, macam betul-betul kau tengok cerita Resident Evil ataupun cerita macam apa yang dekat Netflix tu, cerita Korea zombie tu, sekolah tu, macam tu lah, cerita zombie tu kan, macam tu lah situasi dia. Ada polis yang tahan kiri kanan kan, semua jalan tutup dengan pagar-pagar besi tu kan, dia tak bagi berhenti, don't stop, you need to proceed. Daripada lalu tu memang menyesal tak sudah. Tapi jauh lah 30 km kan. Rasa menyesal, ya Allah, kenapalah aku cek pasal ni, habislah badan aku kan. Tapi Alhamdulillah, sebab kita bukan macam COVID kan, boleh cek ada saliva kan, benda tu melekat kat badan dengan aku tak tahu lah, balik mandi tak tahu jadi apa kan, cerita. Alhamdulillah selamat ya. Itu